All right, man. Uh, Obama. Obama. That's what we talking about. So he made an appearance on Michelle Obama and her brother's podcast, Backdooria podcast. But yeah, he made an appearance on the podcast, and after them, she was dogging him out on the podcast. Check out the music entertainment playlist. And they showed their fortitude and said they're not getting divorced. And she let it out. And the one thing about it is it became a point in time where women would just air out men to their homegirls. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason you will find out if her homegirl got mad or really wanted to be with you on the low, and she would tell you. And I'll tell you this: if you hear the way women talk about their husbands and boyfriends to their homegirls, in my opinion, I think most of y'all would just. I don't think y'all would be married to women. I don't think y'all would deal with them. Y'all would just, y'all would just do the 2-pump special and just, pay for their services and leave. It's nasty work. The man that sits there and, you ain't getting a glimpse of this. The man that sit there and, does the, who sacrifice, and women don't understand the sacrifice that you make as men. They don't, never will, never can, never will, right? And the sacrifice that you make as men, and they dog you out, and they go fuck with somebody else, and get them what they get them, all the things that you want from her, and you get all the bullshit, and she get all the. And the old buddy get all the good shit. I'm speaking for 99.9% of men. I think everybody would rather be the dude that's getting the best version of her, the sex, the food, and then the husband deal with the attitude. I mean, I'm starting to understand. I've been understanding like most women don't deserve to get married, but let alone cook.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm. One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I agree with the first part. He said that you need multiple male men mentors in your life. That is true. That's very true. It takes many men to shape a young boy into a teenager, and a teenager to a young man, and a young man into a full-grown man. I mean, that is true. Because you got, the father is usually the most critical portion of it, but then you got brothers who can reach where the father can't reach at. You got uncles that can reach where the father and the brother can't reach to. Then you got, you may have, a stepfather who can reach where, they can't reach to. And then you might have, guys that you might play sports with or go to school with, and they may reach where they can't reach to. And then you might have a professor that might see a different version of you, and or teacher, you might go to a mentorship program, and everybody, like, it takes multiple guys. You might have a manager. You might not look at him as a mentor, but he might have showed you, how to operate and how to move in a proper way. Because your parents always don't tell you, sometimes your parents do, but sometimes it hurt them to really tell you. It takes somebody with with a no skin in the game to tell you the truth. They ain't related to you, they don't have, no interest in seeing you do good or do bad, and they can just tell you the truth. Now, where I don't agree with it is, you need somebody, gay to be able to sympathize. No, as a human, you should be already able to sympathize. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to sympathize the same way you sympathize when people see single mothers struggling, or the same way you sympathize when you see somebody, injured and you hold the door open for them, or, whatever, regardless of whatever the situation may be. Because for a generation where women say everything we do is gay. Oh, men using the straw is gay. Oh, men, drinking the fruity drink is gay. Or men eating the banana is gay. Or men eating the glizzy is gay. Like when we go down the list of things, you just like, Jesus Christ, what can we do? And they say birds of a feather flock together. You can say the same thing when it comes to a lot of the, with women. You see, guys say, hey, if your friends are whores, you're a whore. So what's going to stop them from pretty much saying the same thing about us? So no, I mean, in my opinion, no. When I was in the leadership positions, did I have employees that, was gay? Yeah, that's a fucking fact. Absolutely, I did. And, I've had managers that, was like that, but, at the end of the day, those are organic experiences. You feel what I'm saying? Those were organic experiences for me. And honestly, they were some of the best people that, that I've worked with and formed relationships with, in real talk. But telling guys to seek that for the mentorship to be able to sympathize, with gay people, or that most times if one of your people that in your inner group come out as gay, you're gone. Like, no, he ostracized out the group. And we know it is what it is. That's just how most men operate. Masculine, heterosexual men operate, because anything we do is deemed gay in society and by our own women and by other people in society. So me personally, no, I don't think you need to have a gay person to be able to empathize or sympathize with them. That's bullshit. If I see somebody fucked up and hurt or whatever, hey, look here, that's in my human nature to be able to, like, oh man, feel like, damn, I see what you're going through. So no, I don't agree with that. And people say, oh, it's homophobia. It's not homophobia. Homophobia is when y'all accuse everything men do, as gay. Oh, you going out with your boys to watch the game again? Like, come on, man. But it's funny when females call it out. It's not homophobia. There's not no more. There's no more homophobic group than a lot of modern women today. So no, I wouldn't tell my son to seek that. Because if I raise him the right way, he's gonna have empathy and he's gonna understand. I'm not going to raise him to hate. Regardless, right? So, but no, I don't feel what he's saying. It's bad advice. It's bad advice. But me personally, no. Nope. But a lot of people just think Obama's projecting, and most people thought over the years that he was on that side, because when he did everything for that community when he was in power and did nothing for his community. It was always, oh, I couldn't do this in my community. The Republicans won't let. Hold on, the Republicans are against, this gay stuff. That's just what it is. They are against it. So they let you pass all those laws for them, but you couldn't pass none for black people. Come on now. Right then and there, when you come out of office, you did nothing for black people. You was on thin ice right there, buddy. So in my opinion, no, I don't feel like that's the case, and that should be the case. That's just my opinion on it. I mean, if I'm moving how I'm moving that way because I'm moving that I'm not moving that way. If I'm moving, my friends group is my friends group. We usually align what I believe in. See, everybody want to be religious and be religious until stuff like this come up. I align, most of the people that I align myself with, they believe what I believe in. Whether it was I was in grade school and we were aligning ourselves with, oh man, you watch Looney Tunes, I watch Looney Tunes, or you like the Power Rangers, I like the Power Rangers, or you like to laugh and be goofy, I like to laugh to be goofy, or I like to raise hell in class, or you like to raise hell in class. We aligned ourselves based on that. Or you like basketball, I like basketball. That's what we aligned ourselves with. That's what we align ourselves with. So why would I align myself with somebody who don't believe what I believe in, especially if I'm religious? I wouldn't do that. We mostly align ourselves due to our interests or how our personalities mesh. So no, that's bad advice. But like I said, that's the Democratic Party. You want to know why a lot of people are walking away from the Democratic Party? That is why they are walking away from the Democratic Party. Because they're literally pushing the deletion of black children or children in general, and our birth rates are going in the toilet. And that's the majority of developing countries. Go look at their birth rates. Now, everything they're pushing is anti-life. Oh, be with another man, and no, like, how are we going to reproduce if come on now. Just being honest. If people want to choose that lifestyle, who cares? But don't push it on nobody. And he's trying to push it. Like that's what the Democrats lost. They want to spend on what they trying to spend $10 million or some shit like that to understand why a lot of black people is leaving the party. Why are you pushing that on us? That's against our religious views. If the majority of us grew up under Christian values, that's against our views. Why don't you push helping us? Why don't you push, against abortion, push pro-nuclear families, push for better marriage laws so it doesn't incentivize the woman to leave? That's what you should be pushing. Why are we continuing to push against the birth rate? Why are we continue to push, especially on the black group, you continue to push us to, our decline in birth rate, or our decline to reproduce? Why are we pushing that? All this continue to do is produce a war between men and women. That's all I'm saying. Like, no, why we just can't go out there, and if you really want people, you feel like it's a lot of hatred towards that community, why don't we go out there and push community service then? Or something like that. But I mean, it is what it is, man. People got their opinions. I disagree on this. I think young men need mentors and men in their life that go in that way that their parents believe in. If their parents believe in their liberal view, then for sure, like, go do that. But if your parents are, old school, and people hate when you use this word conservative, and conservative is everything nuclear family, heterosexual, you go get a woman and you take care of her, and she be your wife, and you take care of her, you lead, protect, and be and be productive citizen in society. Y'all raise y'all children. If you with that, and most people don't even know it, they are conservative. They don't understand it. Liberal is 50-50. We split the bills down the middle. I could be a stay-at-home dad. You could be a stay-at-home mom. See, people don't look at it that way. They always want to take a portion of this and portion of that and mix something together that doesn't exist. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit the link in the description. You can follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch. Check out the Real One-on-One and Music Entertainment playlist. Peace.